Welcome back to my channel, Christopher for Health and Fitness The Truth. Today, this is the only place I had time and space in which to make a video. I'm at my parents' house, and I have my wife's random dumbbell, my wife's random bungee cord to show you what I wanted to show you today. What I want to show you guys today is shoulder stabilization exercises. I see this done wrong in the gym all the time. So people try to do some internal and external shoulder rotation exercises in order to increase shoulder mobility. And indeed, internal external shoulder rotation will increase shoulder stability, but everybody's doing it wrong. So here's what you see. You see people in the gym, they pick up a dumbbell before they start. This is part of their warm-up, right? And they do this with a dumbbell. From here to here is internal rotation, and from here back out is external rotation. And so they think they're picking up a dumbbell and they think they're adding resistance to that internal and external rotation, but they're not. Why? Because this dumbbell is acted upon only by gravity, right? Which means if I let go of this, its anchor point is the ground. Which means if I'm doing this internal external rotation, the resistance applied by the dumbbell is only on my bicep. It's my bicep that got it here and is holding it here. I get just about as much resistance to internal and external rotation through my shoulder as if I'm not holding that dumbbell. It's my bicep that gets this resistance here. Instead of a dumbbell, what you want to use is some kind of tension band or cord. Any gym has one. You gotta put an anchor point in front of or behind you or to the side of you, depending on what you're trying to do, in order to actually have the resistance applied to, this would be against internal rotation. Anchor point over there, I start from here and the resistance is against me pulling in. And if I wanted to do external rotation here, I turn around, anchor point over there, I start with my arm in front of me and I'm pulling widen out, okay? That would be external rotation. But I still wouldn't be doing this well if I wanted to increase my shoulder's stability for any kind of athletic movement or even for the kind of weightlifting that you do in the gym. Because the shoulder is the point through which you generate all force in your upper body. Doesn't matter if you're working out your biceps or your triceps or your shoulders or your chest or your back. The way we do that, if I'm doing a bench press, that force gets generated through my shoulders. It has to go through the shoulder, okay? Of course, tension is created all sorts of places, right? Pecs, shoulders, triceps, but the force has to travel through my shoulders in order to work out my chest. Chest fly, same thing. Rows, same thing, have to generate force. Reverse fly, same thing. Because the shoulders are such a critical force generation channel, it is smart to keep them stable. But with my arm at my side here doing this is about as stable as my arm can get, which is why you don't want to work out those stabilizer muscles here. And you're like, Christopher, that doesn't make any sense. If I want to work on keeping my arm stable, I put my arm in a stable position, right? Well, yes and no. If I recently injured my shoulder and it is unstable inherently because of the injury, this is a great idea. If my shoulder is totally fine and I want to strengthen the stabilizing muscles in that shoulder in order to ensure that as I drive force through that shoulder in any lift or athletic movement, then I want to put my shoulder in an unstable position and strengthen the stabilizers there. So what's an unstable position for my shoulder? 90 degrees out. Right here. 90 degrees from my torso into my upper arm. And if I want leverage applied to it, I'll put 90 degrees through the elbow. I'll grab this, and this will be internal rotation. Okay? From up to in front of you and down. Okay? Just like this was internal rotation, we're doing the same movement. We just put the shoulder in a less stable position, in a very unstable position, so that the shoulder can get stronger in unstable positions. This is internal rotation, and this would be external rotation. Okay? So just to give you that college education I always aim for, let's go over what those shoulder stabilizing muscles are. So there's a number of muscles that come from the thoracic area as an origin point and come out and attach onto the upper arm or the humerus as their insertion points, and there's a number of muscles that do that, but there's only 4 muscles that go from points on your scapula out onto the actual head of the humerus. There's only 4, and those 4, because of their attachment point on the head of the humerus, those 4 actually cause the rotation of your arm, okay? The rotation of the humerus. There are other muscles that act on the arm in order to accomplish internal or external rotation, but it's not their only job, right? Like your lat is a powerful internal rotator, which is why swimmers who are reaching in front of them and above them and pulling down as they internally rotate have huge wings, right? That's their lats showing up. So the lat is a powerful internal rotator, but because of its positioning on the neck of the humerus, it does other things as well. And it doesn't have as critical a job, as critical a function in terms of the stabilization of your shoulder. So there are 4. There's one strong internal rotator, your subscapularis. And it's on the, if you were to take away all my skin and muscles and just look right through my rib cage, at the front side, or the anterior aspect of my scapula, you would see a muscle that covers the entire front side of it, goes right along the back of my rib cage and comes and inserts onto the front of my humerus. And when that shortens, it'll internally rotate my arm. There's 3 on the back of your scapula. There's what's called the spine of the scapula. It's just a bony ridge that goes from medial to lateral on your scapula. There's a muscle that sits on top of it called your supraspinatus. There's one that sits right under that is called your infraspinatus. Supra meaning above the spine, right? Supraspinatus. And then infra meaning below infraspinatus, the spine of the scapula. And then there's teres minor. And those are the 3 external rotators. Everyone will find that internal rotation is more powerful. That subscapularis and other muscles that act to internally rotate are just stronger than the external rotators. I don't have Ozai with me in this video, right? And I can't get to drive today in order to get this video done. But if you want to know the origin insertion points, just Google origin insertion points of the shoulder rotator cuff muscles. So let me just go over simple cues for that movement again. You get a band. This works with a cable machine as well. Just put your anchor point behind you for internal rotation. Bring your arm to 90 degrees through the shoulder and 90 degrees through the elbow, and just start at the top and just pull it forward. The cable or the band you're using, when it runs into your arm, go ahead and keep pulling down, however far down, however much internal rotation you have, get all of it and strengthen all of it. So that's internal rotation. And then external rotation, put your anchor point in front of you and start from here. Again, 90 degrees through the shoulder, 90 degrees in the elbow, but your hand is facing your anchor point and you're pulling it up and back, okay? What's important is that you're focusing on the rotation of the shoulder and not moving the arm forward and back. I see a lot of people doing internal rotation where they start with their arm back and they think they're like almost throwing a ball. That's not, we're trying to isolate those internal and external rotators. So we just keep the arm here. Think of an iron rod or pole that's inserted at your shoulder through your arm and stuck to the wall on the other side of your room, so that your arm's not moving forward and backward as you internally and externally rotate. That's all I got for you today, guys. Don't be that guy or girl who goes to the gym and tries to increase shoulder stability by picking up a dumbbell and working out their bicep statically while they wave their arm back and forth with their elbow right next to their side. And just don't be that person. You know how to do it better. Stabilize that shoulder and that rotator cuff musculature by putting your arm in an unstable position and then working on getting it stable there. I'll see you guys in the next video.